What's up, everyone? I'm Aaron the Toy Enhancer, and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to take a look at the retro card Scarlett. And man, have I been waiting for this Scarlett. The Scarlett that I prefer, I've been actually using the movie Scarlett. Let me know what you guys have been using for your Scarlett until obviously this one came out. The packaging is amazing. Man, take a look at the back. This retro card series is really something else. I'm digging it. I love that they were listening to the fans and they upgraded the card stock. Super thick. Just a great packaging, and I can't wait to open it up. She has all kinds of goodies. Separate arrows. Alright, guys. Let's go ahead and crack this one open and see what it's all about. So here's our Scarlett right out of the package. Looking good. If I love the head sculpt. If there was one thing I could change about the head sculpt, it would be to have like a lighter lipstick on her. I think it's too pungent, and it reminds me of CoverGirl just because of the pungent red. But I think they could have went with a lighter, but it is what it is. It's not that bad. Just a minor thing I noticed when I was looking at her and first opened it up. Now, I already moved her around and everything. All the joints worked really great. All the double joints. Nothing was popping off or loose. Very good construction of this figure. She feels great. We'll take a look at her belt there. She has a little strip of bullets on it, which I thought was a very nice detail. And if you guys stick around to the end, we're going to take a look at the vintage one and do a comparison. But all the way right down to the little pockets on the boots, very nice. They did a great job. She has some throwing stars on her arm. And Scarlett was a martial arts practitioner. Very athletic. And let's get right into the accessories, because you can see that hole in the back of her head, and that's where you just port the ponytail. Which kind of completes her as far as I'm concerned. And you can turn it a couple different ways to have different looks. Let's see if we can get her to stand. Nice. Alright, so let's go over some accessories, guys. This is the additional ponytail, which is just bunched up a little bit more. I'm not sure if it can drape over her shoulder or whatnot. That's a possibility. We'll have to look at the pictures at the end to see if I can get it to do that. And then she came with a crossbow, of course. Now I was extremely nervous when I pulled this out, because when I pulled it out, I didn't know that it separates right there. Okay, so I didn't know that, and I thought I broke it, and I was like, oh no. Of course, I would just glue it back together, no worries. And I was the one manhandling it out of the package, so to speak. So, but yeah, it's a very nice crossbow, and she comes with 4 bolts for the crossbow, and they have different. You see right there, they have different applications on them because you guys know that she had all these special bolts that she could shoot, and they do pour into her bolt quiver, which sits on her side. So bravo Hasbro for all that detail, and obviously they made it like a true archer would have, and some of the bolts are just simple. I know it's hard to see, hard to focus because it's such a small item, skinny, but very, very nice. And like I said, it's 4 total on the bolts. She came with an extra set of hands, which are fist. So some nice punching fist. Same as Duke. Nice. She came with a handgun. Well, I'm not having much luck with the focusing. There it is. She also has a small knife. Very cool. Very cool looking. And I believe it ports right into her side holster right here. Yes. And that slid in very nice. Sometimes those are tight. Sometimes I have a hard time getting the blades into the sheath. She came with this long rifle. Sorry, guys. Very nice. I like it. It is two-toned. And she came with the original laser rifle that Duke came with, which from the cartoon, this is basically what everybody carried around. This is your go-to, average rifle, and they are fairly straight and look good. I'm very happy with them. Hasbro is doing a great job, and all the weapons were the proper plastics for each kind. I'm very happy with the way everything was constructed. And she comes with this backpack that'll hold her rifles. Pretty nice. So we finally have our retro Scarlet. What I wanted to know from you guys is what Scarlet did you favor before this one came out? I was using the movie Scarlet only because I liked the way it looked out of all of the Scarlets made. Um, and I know Glenda is coming out, which is Scarlet, obviously. I didn't know that until people started talking about it. I wasn't that deep into that after line. But yeah, I feel like Hasbro felt like they had to go ahead and throw out the retro one before we got our hands on Glenda because everyone would have been taking the Glenda and making it into this one. So that was pretty smart of Hasbro, and I was not too keen on getting Glenda, but now that I know the story behind it, I know it's Scarlet, whatnot. I'm fine with it. It's cool. I think it's going to be a cool little addition to the team as far as variety for characters and whatnot. So let's take a look at the vintage. And this is my vintage. Very hard to find the vintage one that's not like wore out on the paint, because the paint apps are very, very easy to wear out on this one for some reason. Once you get past the brown paint, it goes right to that gray, and it's very, man, did they knock it out of the park? I mean, with everything. All right, and let me set this down so I can cock out this arm. She has a little pistol on her side arm, which is very, very cool because the original had that. Oops. Which it's on the other side. But still, they emulated it for us. Thought that was really cool, Hasbro, to do. Never leave out the fine details. However, she did, I believe this is a slingshot. I believe she had some kind of slingshot on her back pocket, and they just decided to leave that out. But that being said, you see how, she has almost a diaper look effect on the back here, where they narrowed it down. It just made it look better on the back end there by tapering the paint. And I think that was a good call on Hasbro, because yeah, it would have looked kind of silly, and here's a good demonstration of how that is. And that may have been why they left out the slingshot. I'm not too worried about it. I think they did a great job on the way it looks, and that's just how things needed to be. So tell me what you think, guys. Is this going to be your favorite Scarlet? And please tell me, what Scarlet did you use until you got your hands on a retro one? You know, this is going to indefinitely be the number one Scarlet that I use. I never did open the first one, which was, I forget her number, but she was in the first line. I never did open that one just because I didn't feel like it was Scar. It was the same way with Duke. I never opened the first Duke because I just felt like they were destined to come out with something different, and it just wasn't my Duke. Like same as that first Scarlet. It just wasn't my Scarlet. But now I have them, and it's great. Another thing I want to talk about is the relationships between Snake Eyes, Scarlet, and Duke. So obviously in the comic, which I haven't read a lot of, I do know that the relationship was between Snake Eyes and Scarlet. Okay, and that was written out in the comics. So when they did the cartoon, I truly believe that they incorporated Duke to have relations with Scarlet just because Duke was a talking character, and they didn't necessarily know how to write well with a character who didn't talk, as Snake Eyes, for instance. You could just tell through the series that they just weren't, they didn't have an expertise on writing on a mute character. So I think they switched it up for that reasons, so that you could define the relations and whatnot. And you could tell that Duke and Scarlet cared for each other a lot in the cartoon. So I think it swings both ways. Snake Eyes in the comics, and obviously Duke in the cartoon. But it is what it is, and I think they just changed those aspects, to get a better story brought out. So if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, hit that notification for my next review, and I'll catch you on the next time, guys.